Hi, I'm Michelle Fox, and I have been making a horrible mistake that you may be making yourself right now. And once I corrected that mistake, things radically changed. So we need to talk right away. But let me just back up and say that I am the founder of Boss Babes Online, and I love to teach other people in small businesses and direct sales how to expand exponentially online with the help of social media. And what I want to talk about today is the difference between tags, hashtags, and keywords. And I'm going to throw in a couple other things. But because I misunderstood something very basic, I really missed some huge opportunities and I regret it big time. So you want to grab a pen and a pad of paper and settle in because we're going to get into some juicy information. Okay. So here we go. Uh, Before I go there, this today is February 16th, I believe, 2023. Know that anytime that you are talking about online marketing, social media marketing, that it's constantly changing. So you make sure that you are listening to advice that is current. However, it is always important to understand the concepts behind certain things. So I'm going to give you some concepts, then I'm going to also give you some specifics that will probably change because Lord knows things change always. Yeah, I probably don't have to tell you that. Okay. So, tags and hashtags and categories, there's another word for you. I'm learning that these are descriptions, these are words, ways for you and your audience to find what they're looking for, pretty much in the same way as when you go to a library and it might be organized by science fiction, western, mystery. It's helping people go to the area that they're interested in. That's not going to determine the popularity of that book. Keywords, key phrases, that's tapping into something different where artificial intelligence, on behalf of Google and YouTube, is looking at what are people putting in the search bar and what is your content about. And now keep in mind, this is artificial intelligence, okay? So you have to, like, if they're saying it like XYZ, then you have to say XYZ for them to put it together, because if you say XZY, artificial intelligence can't make that connection. So the keywords and key phrases might even be some of the same things as your hashtags and your tags, but the purpose behind it is to help artificial intelligence in the Google search engines and the YouTube search engine to match your content with what people are searching for. Okay. So I'm going to throw up a graphic and then we're going to do some specific examples because that's what I love to do. So, like I said, categories, tags, and hashtags, these terms are primarily used by you and your audience to easily find what you're looking for on your website, your channel, or your social media platform. So, categories are, excuse me, you're asked to put your video on YouTube in a category. You are asked to put your blog post in a category. You don't have to for either one. But so I also have a skincare and beauty blog and website and channel. So my categories might be anti-aging skincare, makeup, bath and body. So that if someone is looking for makeup, they don't have to look through 100 videos about skincare in order to find the video about eyeshadow that they're looking for. So it's helping them find what they're looking for. And it helps me too. If I want to say, okay, I want to refer somebody to this video, where is it? Or I want to refer somebody to this blog, how can I look it up? And I can search it and look it up that way. Tags are a little more specific. So they more specifically identify the topic of your blog or your video. They can be a little more creative. So like if you've got some, some lingo that you use in your group, in your community, in your niche, that might work for you. But if you want to boost your SEO, it probably is wiser to stick with more general expressions, and I'll explain that in a sec. It's not considered an SEO booster, but some think it does make a difference. Okay, so like my category could be makeup, my tag could be eyeshadow, hooded eyes, eyeshadow tips. So those would be tags for that video that's about those topics. So then my next video might be lipstick, lip gloss, how to apply, how to make your lipstick last all day or something like that. So those tags within the bigger category of makeup are helping someone find even more specifically what they're looking for. I had some categories and tags that were kind of quirky, like I think I had Michelle's faves, faves, for a category. And then I thought that's not really serving me because people aren't searching for Michelle's faves. So then I put favorite beauty products. So do you see the difference? Like that could possibly help somebody make the connection if they were somehow using that to search. Tags, again, I could say something like my droopy saggy eyes, but saying hooded eyes, that's more of a common lingo that somebody might be actually searching. So as much as possible, you are using these terms to identify what you're talking about to help you and your audience find material, information, content that they want. But in the back of your mind, you're thinking it doesn't hurt to make it so that the powers that be, the artificial intelligence, Google search engine, YouTube search engine, should they come upon it, that it will also help, it will kind of pepper in, or it will support the other information that I'm about to provide it with the keywords and key phrases. Hashtag is similar to a tag or keyword. I'm sure you know it's preceded with the hashtag symbol, all lowercase, no spaces. It's not really used for SEO per se. So search engine optimization, that's what SEO is. It can help you rank in social media. So it is very significant, but it's for a different reason. So on Instagram, if you are using the right hashtags to find the right audience, then your numbers are going to go up. And interestingly enough, for TikTok and hashtag TikTok and Instagram, the hashtags with the highest numbers aren't necessarily the best ones to use, and this is why. Hashtag makeup, might have a bajillion posts about it, but hashtag makeup over 50, there are going to be fewer posts. So I am more likely to get exposure because when I'm hashtag makeup, I'm competing with all the other makeup posts. But when I'm hashtag makeup over 50, I'm only competing with others that thought to specify that their post is for people over 50. So again, the more specific, we always talk about our niche audience, the more specific you can be, you are drilling down your audience, you're more likely to get attention. When we did everything in person, when direct sales was exclusively in person, we always thought big numbers, but online, it's really to your advantage to niche down. What I mean by that is that when we work in person, everyone that we come in contact with, without discrimination, is a potential customer. But when we are online, even though, yes, our audience is vastly larger and our impact can be unbelievably larger, in order for us to be heard by the right people, we have to know who we want to talk to. I don't want to talk to everybody that's online because they're not all going to be my customers. So when I talk specifically, when I find specifically women over 50 who are ready and willing to invest in their skincare routine, I'm much more likely to make a connection with them. That's why I talk about narrowing down your audience online. So in a sense, we're thinking smaller, but we are ultimately getting a much bigger payoff. So I know that seems a little confusing or contradictory, but it works. So your hashtags, like I said, shouldn't necessarily be the most popular hashtags. They need to be relevant to your topic, but you want to find that happy medium where they're popular. They're not something unheard of. If you use a hashtag that's nobody is searching for, that's not going to serve you. But if you're using a hashtag where there are people searching for it, but there's not a huge competition, you're going to be right in that sweet spot. So those are the top categories. Okay. So categories, tags, hashtag, those are all things that are helping everyone understand what it is that your content is about. Does it help search engine optimization? Does it help you get found on Google? Does it mean that you're going to show up as the first listing when somebody puts something in the search bar on Google? Not so much. Okay. So the next ones, keywords and key phrases, that is what you're talking about when you're talking about SEO. So these are the terms that artificial intelligence uses to identify what your blog, video, or post is about. That's how they decide who to put it in front of. So keywords. Now here's where I went wrong. So keywords are called tags in YouTube. All right. So in YouTube, it is one suggestion is, okay, let me back it up. YouTube itself says that the tags don't necessarily help people find your videos, but most successful YouTubers will say that's not true. So there's an area that we can put tags up to 500 characters. And if you can manage to get 20 excellent keywords or phrases out of those 500 characters, that's considered like really, making good use of those characters. So that's like primo. I thought it was referring to the hashtags in the description. So I was putting 20 hashtags in my description of my YouTube videos. Okay. Here's the thing. So there's a place for tags, and I kept hearing that you need 20 tags. I knew that the tags area really meant keywords. So when I was hearing 20 tags, I was thinking, well, they must mean that I need 20 hashtags in the description because the tags area is for my keywords. So, but contrary to that, you only need maybe 3 to 5 hashtags in your video description for YouTube. And listen well, if you have more than that, specifically if you have 15 or more, YouTube on purpose pushes you down in the viewership because they think that you are just being like a hashtag hog, and they on purpose reduce your visibility. So in other words, I was making an effort to put 20 hashtags in my description. And as I was doing that for hundreds of videos, literally about 200 videos, YouTube is going out of its way to prevent those videos from being in front of people. Big, huge, horrible, awful mistake. Okay. So I do not like that YouTube uses the word tag when they mean keyword. I don't like the fact that tag and hashtag are so similar. I don't like the fact that the tags for your blog are different than the tags for your YouTube video, but that's how it is. So you have to really pause and reflect. You have to look at what platform am I on? What lingo do they use? And what am I supposed to do here? So on YouTube, your keywords are referred to as tags. There's an area where you can use up to 500 characters to provide tags. And ideally, if you can get 20 tags, you are golden. Key phrases, you hear that more often when you're talking about your blog or website pages. But really, it's pretty much the same thing. Keywords and key phrases, they're basically what are people putting in the search bar? What specific phrase. What exactly are they putting in the search bar? And for a blog or a website page, you will have a main key phrase, but then also there might be two or three variations, like two or three other ways of saying it that you want to kind of pepper in your text so that you are coming at it from all angles. And so that's a thing. So your key phrase is the exact phrase being used in the search bar. But you also want to add, so you'll have one main key phrase, but you also want to add a few variations of it within your blog or web page. Okay. So if you're totally unfamiliar with these terms, I know that is a lot to process. But hold on a second. We will review a couple things here. We're going to go on a journey. I want to show examples. I think for me, that always drives things home. So this is kind of the back end, the dashboard for my blog and website. So you're getting kind of the tour. When I am creating a new blog post, I'll show you where I'm going to put tags and so forth. So this is a recent blog post. Let's go on in there. Take a look. Okay. Over here, categories. So where I used to have, I still have fave beauty products. I need to change that up to, favorite beauty products, just whatever is going to be most common. Anyway, so for categories, I chose makeup tips for this particular one. So categories, I think, is pretty easy to understand. For tags, whoopsie daisy. For tags, I just basically was subjects. I'm just saying what the subjects are: finishing spray, foundation primer, setting powder, etc. So again, that's for me and my viewers to find what I'm looking for. People actually do not put these in the search bar very often. Trust me, I've researched this. What they'll put in is how do I use finishing spray, or what's the difference between setting powder and setting spray. So that is a big difference right there. So I'm purely using these as identifiers, not keywords. For my key word or key phrase, let's see. I chose one main focus key phrase. What is the difference between setting powder and finishing spray? All right. That is helping Google figure out what my blog is about and putting it in front of the right people. Look how many times I'm repeating that main key phrase. It is the title of my blog. It is the first sentence in my little blurb here. They call the meta description. It is actually the first sentence of the blog itself. It is bold and italicized throughout my blog. Then I also have a couple of ways of saying this mixed up in there. I guess we can go in there. So, what is the difference between setting powder and finishing spray? Well, let's find a couple of variations of that. If you're wondering what the difference is between foundation, makeup primer, setting powder, and finishing spray, this blog post is for you. So there's, kind of another one. Which is better, setting powder or setting spray? What goes first, finishing powder or setting spray? So I straight up just listed them. I'm very basic. So this is helping, like I said, the bots figure out what my content is about and putting it in front of the right people. The tags were just for me and for my viewers to find. If they're interested in a post about setting powder, they can find it. Okay. So, and I don't use hashtags at all in my posts, my blog posts or website stuff. So that is going to be in Instagram. Now in Instagram, they are like the founders of the hashtag, I think. Here you can use, a lot. I think it's like up to 20 or something. And they suggest that it's either at the bottom of your post or it's in your first comment. Let's see. And like I said, you want to use hashtags that are popular, but then you don't want to have something that is so popular that you've got tons of competition. Okay, another place that you're going to use hashtags will be on TikTok. And there's apps for everything, guys. Okay, so there's a TikTok hashtag generator, but what's really cool is that, let's say, make up over 50. You can tell it what you're interested in, and it will tell you what are the best hashtags to use for that topic. And then you can just copy and paste. So that's so cool. And then you're coming down, you can see like how many posts and how many views. And like I said, so 144 million or 7 billion for beauty. That might seem like, oh, that's what I want then. 27 billion for makeup. Not really, because that's 27 billion posts that you're competing against. So what about this hashtag and fabulous? I would rather compete against 4 other posts than against, let's see, 3 million other posts. So this gives you a strategy of which one to use. So skincare, 90,000 posts. Is my post going to show up? Is it going to rank compared to 90,000 other posts? Probably not. But if compared to ageless beauty, maybe it will. Me out of 136, I'd be 137. So it's interesting. I mean, it takes some time, it takes a little bit of work, but it is interesting. So that's tags, hashtags, categories, a little bit about keywords. So now let's get into how we use keywords and phrases on YouTube. So this is probably, to me, this is where it all began. And I use vidIQ to help me. I love it. Let's see. Hopefully. All right. So here's a video from a series that I did on skin cycling. So we'll edit this to look at what some of these components are. So I start down in the at the bottom. Okay, so let's imagine this was all blank. I'll show you how I do this. The method to my madness. I start down here under tags, which actually means keywords. And I use a keyword inspector. This is a free tool from vidIQ. There are tons of free tools to use for this. But basically, you can find some kind of tool that will give you a score for, let's see, we can't talk and think of this at the same time. That will give you a score for your topic. And the higher the score, the better keyword it is. And they are taking into account what your competition is and how many people are searching for it to give it that score, okay? So the topic of this video is skin cycling. And when I just put that in, 21,000 people are searching that every month, and my competition is very low. So it got a pretty decent score of 69. I can sort by score and see that, yeah, that's about as good as it gets for that. So let's try saying it a different way. What is skin cycling? And that actually went down to 59. So do you see how I'm kind of playing around with it to see what is the best way of saying this? Like, what is the most effective key phrase? Is skin cycling worth it? And that's the thing, is that you're typing it in. You don't want to type in fancy words. You want to type it in the way people talk, the way they think, because that's how they're going to type it in. What did I end up doing? How do I do skin cycling? 62. It keeps getting lower. Let's see what I ended up finding. Yeah, these are not that great. So skin cycling, 69 up here, 63, 65. So, yes, I think the skin cycling, that was the highest one. What did I use for my keyword? Yeah, and I just use that as my key. So the search term, this is like asking in just like how my blog had like a main key phrase. That's what YouTube calls it, your search term. Don't you love how it's always different? So the search term that you want to rank for, in other words, if I had to choose one keyword or phrase, what would it be? And so I went with skin cycling because it had the highest score. And you have to keep in mind that even though it's tempting to choose others keywords that might rank higher, you have to also be accurate. You have to also say what you're actually talking about. you know. So anyway, so that's kind of where I came up with all of these. Um, all right. And then the other thing was that, so the 20 keywords, I have 500 characters to use, and I needed to turn that into 20 keywords. Now that might seem like not a big deal, but sometimes my key phrases are really, really long. And so you can logically, realize with me that if it's a super long key phrase, if you have several long ones, you might not get to 20. And so for a while, I kept getting like a low score for my keywords, and I couldn't figure out why. And it was because my phrases were so long, I wasn't getting 20 in this box. So where it says tags, it means keywords. And you want to try to get these 500 characters into 20 keywords. You can use a free tool like vidIQ that has some kind of keyword inspector or keyword rating system so that you pick out the best ones. And then you want to maybe find the top 3 and put them in your description as hashtags. Oh, see, I haven't changed this one yet. 1, 2, 3. So 4, 5. We'll leave 5 of them in there. So boom. Yeah. See, thank you. You helped me take care of some business today. So, like I told you, I was putting like a crap ton of hashtags in my description, and that is not what you're supposed to do. So the hashtags, you can use hashtags in YouTube. You can use hashtags in other forms of social media. You don't really use hashtags in your blogs or, website pages. Oh, anything else that we want to cover in here? I think that about sums it up. Okay, so we've gone through the words, we've looked at examples. So let's go through the words one more time when everything is fresh in your head. And I think it's going to really, all come together for you. So categories, I think that's the simplest one. Let me use my pointer. Where am I? Here we go. Categories right here, probably the simplest one. We're just categorizing things. You're going to see that on YouTube and your blog posts. Tags. Now we're getting into tricky territory. When your blog post is asking for tags, it's just asking for subjects, really. What specifically are you talking about? And it's to help you and your viewers find whatever topic you're interested in. Hashtag is similar to tags and keywords, but it's put together in a specific way with the hashtag symbol, and then the letters are lowercase, no spaces. You use a hashtag to let the world know what it is that you're posting about, but you don't want to use hashtags that are so popular that you're competing against millions of other posts. You want to use a hashtag that is popular, but not too popular. There's a balance, and there are apps that can help you figure that out. Later.com is a good one for Instagram. And then under here, keywords. Now we're talking about how does Google or YouTube, how do the search engines, the bots, how do they link your content with the right audience? And the way to do that is for you to play nice and use the exact keywords that people are using when they do their searches. In YouTube, the keywords are referred to as tags. Ideally, you want to get 20 keywords out of the 500 available characters. And then you take the most popular 3 and you use them as hashtags in your description. Key phrases is basically the same as keywords. It's just, longer. And for your blog post and your website pages, you want to have the phrases that people are using to find your type of material, to find what it is that you're offering. The way to do that is to put something in the search bar and then to see what all other suggestions pop up. There are also SEO apps and plugins, and there are actually people that will do this for you. You can find them on Etsy and you can find them on Fiverr, Fiverr.com. But for me, so far, I just basically put something in the search bar and then I see what comes up and I compare it to the other suggested phrases. And I just use my own logic and ask myself, which one do I think most people are probably putting in the search bar? And so that's my key phrase, the one that I use most. So, and I specify that. So for your blog and website, you're going to specify one specific key phrase. And then throughout your blog post, you should have it rephrased 2 or 3 other ways within your body, the body of your text. In YouTube, you are asked, what search term do you want to rank for? I guess I should put that on there. Like it's a search term. Why they can't all just use the same lingo, I don't know. That kind of stuff, makes my logical brain hurt, but that's how it is. So hopefully you got a little something out of that. And if you've got too many hashtags in your description, you need to run like the wind and delete all but 3 to 5. And you will see a difference. Like as soon as I did that, so for my most popular videos, I started there. I told you I've got 200 I got to fix. I started there and then right away, I kid you not, I started to see my numbers go up. So it makes a difference. It really does. So if you got anything out of this, give me a like, give me a thumbs up, share it with somebody else that might get something out of it. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, Boss Babes Online. We are trying to get to 1,000. So if you could tell everybody in your sphere about it, I would surely appreciate it. And if you hit the bell, then you will definitely be notified about the next video that drops. I would love to hear in the comments what exactly you learned, what you applied, if it helped you in any way. If you think I misspoke about something, I'm certainly not an SEO expert. I'm just telling you, sharing with you what I've learned, and I felt the need to share it because it was important that I made that change. But I'm all ears. So if you know something that I did not share, or if I misspoke, like I said, feel free to share in the comments what you know, clarify for us. So thanks so much for your time and attention. And I will talk to you soon because this is what I love to do.